Spider-Man. We get it.
Get ready for an adventure unlike any you've ever seen.
What is that?
Or heard.
My delicate ears can't take it no more.
Prepare yourself for laughter, tears, and moments of neither. Get set for the voice who end all voices. The master of mouth, the king of characterization, the prince of pronunciation, the infinite impersonator, the architect of audible, the noun of nouns, the one, the only. Is anybody buying this yet? Ladies and gentlemen, the band of the band. Please help me welcome to the stage every voice you've heard and will hear, including this one, is James Arnold
Are you feeling good? You guys feeling good over here? You having fun? Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. I hope you wash your hands. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, okay. These big cameras. Let's mess around with them. How many people saw our camera today? You guys have fun? Did you see the big stars of the Soccer Talk Show? Did y'all see that? Billy D? Did you see Billy D? See Larry Park? Did you see Ashley Eckstein? Did you see Taylor Gray? Man! What about that James Arnold Taylor guy? What do you think? Hey, while I'm over here, I want you all to turn over here and applaud really loudly for these people in this booth. Because they're awesome and they do so much great work for all these shows. And now I'm going to run down here and you're going to applaud for all those people that are backstage that you don't see. Alright? Putting on a fantastic show for you. How are you? I'm James Arnold Taylor. I am a voice actor. I am your host of Star Wars Weekends, and this is my show, Obi-Wan and Beyond. Now, being a voice actor, I think, is the coolest job in the world. I really do, and I hope that by the end of the show, you might agree with me. In a little bit. But who knows that famous line from Obi-Wan Kenobi, or from Princess Leia about Obi-Wan Kenobi? Anybody know it? From A New Hope? You young man. You don't know this line? This is very embarrassing. For you, not me. But, do you know the line? What is it? What does Princess Leia say when R2-D2 comes on and the little hologram and she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." Very good, yes! You gotta learn that one. Okay, so do you think if we all sung the Folds right now, we might be able to call Obi-Wan Kenobi into the show? Yes? By saying that line? Can we get a little mood music for it though? Okay, good. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. You're all going to say it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Well, I felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if a whole planet cried out at once. Welcome everyone to Obi-Wan and Beyond. Now, James, I understand the Obi-Wan part of the title, but the rest is beyond me.
Hey, everyone, well, see, now, I'm not just the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm the voice of many other characters in movies, TV, video, game, and more.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I always knew the Force was strong with you. I should be watching my hologram from my post here.
Oh, and where exactly is here, Master Obi?
I can't say for fear of the Empire monitoring this signal, but if you think it's hot there with one sun, try two. Move along, James. Move along.
Move along, James. Move along. Move along, James. Oh, man, you always get me with that Jedi Knight trick. Okay, hey, are we ready to have a good time? Are we ready to learn about the life of a voice actor? Now see, on-camera actors, they have a lot of fun. They get a lot of makeup and the food platters and the trailers and all of those cool things. But voice actors have it, I think, even better. You know why? Because we get to be anything that our voices can be. Anything that the directors and the writers and the filmmakers can dream up in their heads. We can give a voice to, which is really exciting. Because I can be an 11-year-old a kid like Johnny Test or a prehistoric caveman like Fred Flintstone at 115 pounds and 5'4", pretty good, right? Not too bad. This has been my dream my whole life. I always knew that I wanted to do voices, and ever since I was 4 years old, I knew I wanted to be an entertainer, and I wanted to pursue doing voices in cartoons and movies and all that. And so I would study, and I would go and I would listen to all these great things. One of the things I loved getting was at the library, you could check out these things called cassette tapes. They were pretty cool. And then we had records, these round things, and you would put them on, and you would listen. And I would get old recordings of radio shows from the 30s and 40s, and I would memorize all these things, and I loved them. They lived in my head because it was all what your imagination could come up with. And you see, radio was really the beginning of all of it, for all of us. It really was.
I'm checking on who's on first.
So who's playing first?
Yes.
I need to know his name.
Who?
The fellow playing first base.
Who is on first?
Well, why did I give it ball?
I love you, Margo. There's someone else. No. Then why don't you tell me who this is? Hello, Margo. Sports. The champions will give me my shape. The champions of all rules. He gives me left and right and left and right and still another left and another right. Music. Baby, sweetheart, like sugar on a candy train. All the kisses from the body. News. Big line, Europe, 1945. The German high guys swept their forces to the Allies. Hitler's minions have given the light. And suspense.
I'm telling you, whatever you do, do not open that door.
I must see.
Trust me, nothing can prepare you for what is on the other side.
Well, Hello, Margo.
Yes, the world of entertainment at your fingertips. The Miracle Hour Radio.
Thank you. See, it was fun. It was whatever you could dream up, and I just loved the theater of the mind that it created. So I worked really hard by trying to make the same voices I heard in my head come out of my mouth. And I would study extremely hard. No matter what everybody says, oh, voiceover, that's got to be a lot of fun. Yeah, it's fun. But I would study very, very hard, okay, kids? Really hard by watching a lot of cartoons. Oh, and I would read. I would read quite a bit of comic books. Yeah. Now, I would even create my own comics. Anybody else ever do that? You guys draw your own comics and stuff, yeah? It's fun, right? I would sit in my room for hours and create these ones. My hero, I called him the Sound, because he would use sound waves to create alternate realities for the bad guys. Now, I would sit there for hours coming up with the characters and the storylines, and then I would like play them out in my head, and I'd read them and draw them, and, you know, being a little kid, it was kind of like, I have control of all the sounds you hear. I fight crime and pursue justice. I am the sound. Yeah. Thank you. See, because that's what we do, right? When we're kids, we dream up these things. But when we're doing them, it sounds one way, but in our heads, it's much different. In my head, it was much more like, what goes on in a little kid's head. It's great fun because you can dream it all up. And I love doing it. I love puppets as well. Now I love these puppets specifically. Oh, hey Bert. But I noticed and I listened that some of them sounded like other puppets.
Hello Bert.
The voices were the same, but it didn't really matter, right? No, they were awesome. Well, by the way, Kermit singing Rainbow Connection could pretty much bring the biggest bully on the playground to tears. Save me from his wrath. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? It's so true! Yeah, see? So it was good that I learned these voices. Got me out of trouble because I gotta tell you, every year, no matter what, I was always the smallest kid in my class. No exaggeration. I was. So my voices were really, a key for me in making friends and not getting beat up. And I would recreate everybody's favorite TV shows that they saw the night before, or I would create the movies that they saw. This was before the internet and YouTube and DVDs and DVRs and VCRs were brand new back then. So I was basically like TiVo. I was Jack-Bo. You tell me about we quiet. I want to.
What's up, Doc? I'll tell you what's up. It's women's season. Women's season. Women's season. This season fire.
Traveling through a dimension. A dimension known as psychic self. I can't hold it. I'm barely alive. Gentlemen, and we go. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. I'm afraid I can't do that. Kid, get us out of here.
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Snakes. What? Snakes.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while. You're busy.
You can't win love. If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you possibly. Oh, wait a second, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Out of DeLorean? The way I see it, Marty, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not go with some style? Besides, the stainless steel construction makes a flexible versatile acid. Look out! Whoa, this is heavy. I loved creating all these things and having fun with it. So by the age of 16, I took all this talking to myself to the stage as a stand-up comic. Now, when I got in at 17, my hair grew, and I became a disc jockey, and I loved doing that. And then by the time I was in my 20s, I built my own home recording studio and started my own voiceover production company. And one of my very first clients was Movie Phone. I don't know if anybody remembers Movie Phone. We used to have to call it. Hello, welcome to... That wasn't me. But I was the guy that did all their trailers. And so one time they asked me to make a trailer for Jurassic Park 2. You see, they wanted the sound of a T-Rex stomping up and letting out a thunderous howl, and then the announcer would come on and say, "Something has survived." Now, I was fine with doing the announcer, but they also needed me to do the T-Rex because they didn't have any of the sounds from the movie yet. So I used what I had, my voice. And my lunch. Let me explain here. Okay, see, this is where being a voice actor is also the coolest thing in the world because you can be so many different things with a multi-track recorder, some special effects, and some food, actually. You take your cup and you pop out the bottom there, you take a bag of chips and you fill it with, this is going to date me and tell you how old I am. This is recording tape from the old days. But I took this stuff because it sounds like leaves rustling in the bushes there, see? And then the chips at the bottom of the bag with that. I would take those and I would slam them into my chest on the microphone and I would make this sound. see? So together you have this, like the footsteps, right? Then I needed to create the sound of the voice of the T-Rex. So I put my voice through a vocal processor and pitched it way down, ooh, like that. Hey, how you doing? Feel like Billy D. And so what I would do is I needed to create this. Now, everything you hear, that you're about to hear, is me, and let's see if we can do it. This is all just a voice and a bag of chips. Let's give it a shot. It's true. One man, one voice. It's pretty cool. I love it. I love doing all this stuff. It's great fun to do. And, you know...
James, are you alright? I thought I heard the zero piece.
No, I'm fine. It was just me. I'm talking to myself. Tell me about it.
Good. I was going to say...
Oh, you have a bad feeling about this?
Yes. But I believe there's a quota on that line in this show. But I want to say it before it really matters.
Got it. Okay. Well, so I had been doing this movie phone work for quite a while, and I love doing it. I've been doing the radio work for quite a while, and I love doing it. But I knew what I really wanted to do was be a voice actor in Hollywood and do voices in movies and such, and animation. So I worked really hard. I put a demo together. And after many years of persistence, I finally got an agent. And then the agent starts the process with you of sending you out on auditions. Now, auditions are a big part of a voice actor's life. It's a daily part of it. In a normal day, I could do maybe 10 to 15 auditions. And you're just constantly showing the writers and the directors, the producers, the casting directors, that you're the right person for the job. But in that, you also have to show that you're flexible, that you have no inhibitions, that you don't mind making a funny face or sounding weird. You have to give them whatever they ask for. And in an audition, you never quite know what to expect.
Okay, James, make yourself comfortable. We want you to sound very real, casual, conversational. We're looking to get this in about 1.7 seconds. Oh, and don't make it too announcery. For this first take, just give us whatever you have in mind, okay?
Okay, great.
Great, we're rolling. Take one.
Use only as directed.
Great. Okay, let's try one a little more conversational.
Use only as directed.
Now more serious.
Use only as directed.
What if we needed it in 3.8 seconds instead of 1.7?
Use only as directed.
Okay, now stretch it out, but go back to 1.7 seconds.
Use only as directed.
How about with a German accent?
Use only as directed.
New York, maybe?
Hey, use only as directed. What?
British?
Use only as directed.
How about French?
Use only as directed.
Romanian?
Directed. Use only as.
What would a woman sound like?
Use only as directed. Use only as directed.
They're more staccato.
Use only as directed.
How about a real announcery voice?
Use only as directed.
Now energize.
Use only as directed.
Bigger and faster.
Use only as directed.
Faster and bigger.
Use only as directed.
Bigger.
Use only as directed.
Okay, stand by. Sounds real good, James. You know, we're actually thinking we're going to go with your first take. Thanks for coming in.
Now you know why it's padded. Thank you. You guys are very good. It is great fun to do voiceover. It's great fun to be a voice actor in animation. It's great fun to be a voice actor in all these things. But one thing I never could have dreamed of being a voice actor in when I was a little kid is video games. You say why? Yeah. I'm so glad you asked. Because, see, when I was a kid, video games looked like this. What are you going to do vocally? It's like, I'm like, yeah, it's not a lot there. But boy, video games have changed quite a bit, haven't they, in the last few years? Oh, man. So cool. I have been very fortunate to be the voice of some really cool characters like Ratchet from Ratchet & Clank, Tidus from Final Fantasy X, Lego Spider-Man, the Silver Surfer, Professor Charles Xavier, our great Scott, Young Doc Brown. I'm both Hiccup and Fishlegs in How to Train Your Dragon. Prince Charming, Chicken the Gingerbread Man. I'm also Arthur in Shrek games. I'm the voice of all the minions.
And the Holy Transformer.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do it. Oh, thank you. There's always something different in a video game, but there's always something different in a voice actor's life. See, because voice actors, we're only heard and not seen. We can be many different people in many different places throughout a single day. Let me give you an example of my life, an average day for me as a voice actor. I could start by driving out to Disney in Burbank to do the voice of one of the attractions right here at Disney's Hollywood Studios, The Legend of Jack Sparrow. Have you seen it? I'm the voice of the skull. Pretty cool, right? And I sing.
Yo ho, I'm this life for me. We can get together, break up the heart show. We can get it right, you don't give it up, break up the heart show.
But then, I've got to rush all the way over to Santa Monica to do the voice of one of those movie trailer guys. Critics are calling it so-so. Not worth the shoe's best. Then, I'm off to Studio City to do some new dialogue for a show we did 6 months earlier. Now this is known as ADR, or Automatic Dialogue Replacement. Thanks, Doc. I'm ready to get back to playtime. And then I gotta rush over to my home studio and patch in on the ISDN line for a promo for Fox.
Sunday, 7 Central on Fox.
Yeah, I gotta do it over to Hollywood to do the voice of 2 of my favorite cereal commercial characters, Fred Flintstone,
Bonnie, my house.
and my favorite, the Strawberry Baby. Hey guys, little family reunion. Yeah, I'm off to Century City to voice what we call a tag, also known as. That voice comes out at the end of the commercial, says much stuff you can understand, but it's not so fast. Inspired from music, pretty seats or pretty kids, never said who that was ever some kind of government or guessing or prohibited you something is direct. I gotta fight LA traffic just so I can make my way home. So I can start all over again the next day. Well, it's great fun, I'm not complaining, but I love being a voice actor. Thanks. Are you guys having fun? Are you learning a new thing? Are you getting excited about this? Wow, I never thought of that. There's people in little padded rooms talking to themselves. Isn't this cool? He is nuts. Man. Well, there are so many different types of voice acting and voice actors and ways of recording it. I'm trying to show you all of the various ones, but say you're doing an animated TV show like Rebels or The Clone Wars. You're usually in the studio with the rest of the cast.
Look, it's Kenobi.
Terribly sorry.
Let's go, Obi-Wan. Look out!
Freeze, Jedi scum.
I have a bad feeling about this. Now, if you're doing an animated feature film, you're alone in the studio with just the director giving you lines to react to.
Scene 4, take 9. Please, don't leave me. You mean everything to me.
And you mean everything to me. I love you.
Oh, and I love you too. And cut.
Yeah, see, you may never even meet your co-stars. As a voice actor, I've worked with some of Hollywood's biggest names, but I gotta tell you, rarely are we in a studio together, or do we even meet. But if you're doing a radio commercial, you're usually with the other actors.
Hey, Bob, what's wrong?
Oh, it's this headache.
Well, here, try this.
Use only as directed.
Yeah, that's my line. Look, if you're doing a narration, you're alone in the studio. A promo or a trailer, you're alone. A video game, alone again. Naturally. Now, you also have to know your tools, the microphone and the headphones. So you can't get into the studio and be startled by the sound of your own voice in the headphones.
That's me. I sound so high-pitched.
Have you ever noticed this before when you hear yourself? See, what happens is we all hear ourselves bigger, deeper, with more bass than everybody else is hearing us, because we hear ourselves through our own heads, and not just our ears.
Hey, baby. Yeah, that's more like it.
So you can't get into the studio and be surprised to hear yourself, and then back off the microphone and not be so loud. Ooh, and speaking of loud, you can't wear loud clothing, like a finely starched shirt, leather jackets, or leather pants, jingly jewelry, or worst of all, squeaky shoes. You don't want to have a smacky, sounding mouth pronounced or plosive P's or B's, or sibilant essence. S. And when you say words that start with those letters, slightly turn your head away from the microphone. Or hold a pencil in front of your mouth, which you can also use as a sound effect for chattering teeth, which is appropriate because most studios are freezing. Look, you just don't want to be too close to the microphone, not your fault. If you're going to yell, slightly back. If you're going to whisper, you just lean a little. So you just have to know and enjoy this dance with your partner, the microphone. Thanks.
Oh, yes. Who's stink?
I'm sorry, you said I stink. Hello?
That's right, I said this stink.
Okay, I'm kind of in the middle of the show here, alright?
Well, you're in the middle of something, but I wouldn't call it a show.
I think we got a heckler in the crowd here. What's going on?
Heck, we're a lot funnier than you.
Where are you? I'm gonna find you.
What, but you never find me?
Oh, I'm gonna find you. Is it you?
Not even close.
Not you? It's not you? I thought it was. What about you?
Over here.
Over here. Ah, Kermit the Frog there, right? Yeah, no? Okay, I'm gonna find you. Is it you with the camera? No, take the picture quick. Ah! Oh, I know. It's Johnny Test.
That's Mr. Johnny Test to you, and you'll never find me because I am the sound of Johnny Test.
Wait, okay, Johnny, how are you just your voice? I'm the voice of Johnny Test. How are you doing this? How did you get out of my throat?
I borrowed my genius experiment. The vocal extractor 2000.
So now, having fun.
Just a voice.
Johnny, your shadow is showing. We can see you now.
Huh? Ooh, don't look. Well, I did say there could be some side effects, but hey, look, Mom, I'm on TV.
Okay, Johnny, get off the TV, please. Just get back into my throat so we can get off of the show and I can tell them about how I'm Johnny Test. For example, Johnny.
Oh yeah? How do you plan on doing that, voice boy? You don't have a vocal extractor 2000.
Nope, but there's an app for that. Here comes Johnny.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, now to put you back in my throat where you belong.
I don't want to go back in your throat. You're old like my dad. Awesome! Totally awesome! Hey, would you like to see an example of me doing Johnny Test in the studio and all the other voices I do on the show? Let's do it then! Imagine a voiceover that can actually turn a boring old day into an exciting movie! Stand back, citizens, for this looks like a job for Johnny X!
Johnny X, I, Dark Vegan, will destroy you.
Man, is it hard to read with this mascot.
You'll need some help from me, Mr. Mittens. And me, the beekeeper.
Help!
Pork Belly is under attack by bad guys. But who are these super evil villains and where roams Johnny X the City Boss? More on that at the word from our sponsor.
I'm Doc Weaver. Try my piles of high.
So are you guys gonna like take over the universe, the world or something?
Don't know yet. We're kicking around some ideas.
Ooh, I like Johnny's suggestion of taking over the world.
Take over the world? Yeah, you know, James, you're not too bad at all those voices. I guess I'll just leave it all to you then.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun being all these different characters.
Well done, James. No doubt all that experience prepared you for your greatest voice challenge.
Oh, yeah, Fred Flintstone. Great story. Can you tell me about it?
No,
Leonardo the Ninja Turtle?
no. I was referring to a certain Jedi.
Oh, yeah, of course. Plo Koon. How could I forget Plo Koon?
Between you and Anakin, why do I bother?
Okay. For those of you that may not know, I am very honored to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I'm also the voice of Plo Koon on Star Wars The Clone Wars. Got to be his voice for 6 seasons on the show, and it was a great honor for me, for many reasons, but one being that our director of the show, Dave Filoni's favorite character was Plo Koon. Now, the direction Dave gave me when coming up with the voice was one word: Gandalf. he wanted that Ian McKellen feel, that regalness to it, that boldness there, that dramatic kind of tone. And I gotta tell you, with a voice like Ian McKellen's, it's hard to not sound dramatic and exciting, you know? In fact, they always say with a good thespian like that they could read pretty much anything and it would sound dramatic, exciting, and compelling from like, they say like the phone book, but I was thinking more like, let's try stereo instructions. Let's say.
Stereo speaker installation. Walls connecting to left and right speaker interfaces. One must be certain to make the connections properly. For if the cords are not firmly plugged in, no sound shall
Thank you. Just a little over the top. Yeah. It's fun. It's great fun. And Clone Wars was such a great show. Anybody watch Clone Wars? Show. We worked on it for 9 years and 6 seasons, and now you can see the 6th season on Netflix if you get a chance. It's quite good. I recommend it. But here's the thing: when you're a voice actor, you get called in to be many different voices in a show. You don't just come in and be the one character. I'm not just going to be Obi-Wan and Plo Koon, or just Obi-Wan, or just Plo Koon. I'm going to be several other characters in each show. So they might have like a bad guy that they want you to be, or you might be like an alien on the side, just little voices here and there. And so throughout those seasons of Clone Wars, I got to be many different characters. And in the clip you're about to see, every single character, every single voice you hear is me. And hopefully, if I did my job right in my little padded room, you never know. So take a look, and I hope you enjoy it.
What's your pleasure?
Can I help you?
May I help you?
You're going to release us and hunt us down for sport.
Try and keep up, clone. This one was faster than most. I've lost the scent.
Hope this will arrive soon. The entire battle galaxy will be wiped out. Time for the Jedi to meet with this fatal accident.
I guess things could be worse, though I'm not sure how. Take them to interrogation. Torture them slowly.
The Assembly has decided that the actions of Chancellor Chen were out of order.
You're looking a little too young to be a Jedi.
1,000 apologies, young one.
What are you reaching for? Stand up. You can take us home, Jedi. Would you like to try and prove your theory? I'm celebrating the death of a Jedi. I have a bad feeling about this. May the Force be with you.
What do you think? Thank you. Man, again, what an honor to get to be so many great characters on that show, especially my favorites. Obi-Wan.
Hello there.
Obi-Wan. Now that's a name. Actually, you're quite right. I never could have imagined when I was 7 years old when I first saw Star Wars in a drive-in theater in San Jose, California back in '77 that old Ben Kenobi and I would have a connection. In fact, when Luke Skywalker asked, "Oh, you know?" that I'd simply say, "Of course I know. He's me." Listen, Obi-Wan Kenobi and I started working together back in 2002 for the micro-series of the Clone Wars. Don't know if anybody ever saw that one. If not, I recommend it. It's great fun, and it was really cool. So they wanted a match for Ewan McGregor's voice. So I went into my little padded room, and I listened to recordings of Ewan McGregor, and I repeated after him.
Hello there.
Hello there.
This is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Good job.
Oh, thanks. Good job. Anyways, the folks at Lucas thought I did okay, and they asked me to do some other parts for him. In fact, the Revenge of the Sith video game was being made the same time as the movie. So I had to match his tones and everything. Ewan McGregor's a fantastic actor, and he brought so many layers to this character that already had great layers from Alec Guinness. But he had this soft kind of tone of Obi-Wan Kenobi. But then there's another part of him that was really the compelling dramatic parts that we had to recreate for the video game. It's my favorite scene.
You are the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness! You're my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
Great stuff, huh? Oh, thank you. I love it. It's so much fun. And you know, while my journey as Obi-Wan Kenobi started as a voice match for Ewan McGregor, I have actually voiced more Obi-Wan Kenobi than anybody. I have. And in fact, I even got to suit up as the Jedi Knight in a fan-made film called Hughes the Force. They combined John Hughes films with Star Wars. It was a lot of fun. But you know, 9 years ago when we started recording the Clone Wars, director Dave Filoni and of course George Lucas gave each of us as cast members the freedom to take these characters and kind of put our own spin on them and make them our own. In fact, it's always great now when I hear fans say that when they hear Obi-Wan in their heads, they actually hear my voice, which is really high praise for a voice actor. In fact, I love coming to places like Star Wars weekends where you get to meet all the younglings and you get to ask them questions like, do you know what Obi-Wan Kenobi and I have in common? Why do we share the same voice? Now see, Obi-Wan Kenobi and I, we have a great connection, but I have a connection to him not just as an actor, as a fan, because I love this character, and it's such an honor to get to play him. And all those years on the Clone Wars, there's nothing I love better than walking into a studio, having those doors open, getting on a mic and saying, "There's a voice." All right, you doing good? One last demonstration? All right. See, as a voice actor, I am called to voice match people like Ewan McGregor. That means, like they have stunt doubles, I'm a voice double. So sometimes that actor is not available, and I will come in and fill in for them vocally in the movie, replace dialogue and stuff. So what I have found through the years of voice matching with various people is all voices are tones. And essentially you can get from one tone to the next by, you know, adding a little depth or getting a little texture, raising up the pitch or throwing in an accent, you see. I want to give you an example, okay? So let's just start with my regular voice. Hang on, my regular voice. Right about here. And if we take it and we make it just a little more nasally maybe and bring it up in tone, we might start with our first one, Michael Emerson from the TV show Lost. Remember he played Benjamin Linus. He had such a way of talking that everything he said sounded a little creepy, just a little off. Now if you take the creep factor out, make it a little more folksy and friendly, you get Ron Howard. Use some folk and some soul, and now it's Justin Timberlake. It's becoming like a social network of voices. Use some wizardry in the British accent. You get Daniel Radcliffe. Lay it back, give it a little twang. All right, all right, all right. Shift that over and it's Keith Richards, the Joker. He completes me. Pushing up to the front of your mouth, and it's Christian Slater who will drop down and double as Jack Nicholson. Raise it back up and seem less interested instead. Oh, I'm McLovin, and I totally sound like, oh, wait a second, McFly. Oh, Doc, this is heavy, so let's drop it down a tone, and it's Shia LaBeouf. Oh, wait a second, Optimus. You mean to tell me that my car is a robot? Well, I gotta take this back over you. I gotta tell Satan, because it's crazy the way these voices intertwine now. The way I break up my seven structure is not dissimilar to a smarter than the average bear. Hey, Ruffy boy. Hey, Freddy, you know they really see me. You properly connected voices here, you just gotta shoot the birdie. It's in the hole. Gunga. You talking to me? Huh? You talking to me, Gunga? Well, from courage, I'm sorry, it's just, I love you, Sparkus. And I love you too. Wait a minute, dum-dum, you sound like me. Alright, only panic. Panic's my middle name. You and me both.
Oh, you'll be under to tell Mr. Ranger and he's gonna have to come a night and off while you come before. Oh, yeah, like a Kansas spinach. Well, blow me down and
Hoo-ha, okay. You ever notice how Pacino's slowly turning into Jimmy Gattal's game from Taxi? I think Grace Scott, there's a direct correlation between voices. This is temporal experiment number one. If you take Dr. Emmett Brown and teach him karate, you get Hong Kong food. Number one super guy. Give him a British accent and you might find
away the accent. Bring it down in here and you get out bold. Move your take and drop down until it's Christian Bale as Batman. Move your take him and take him down to almost a whisper. And it's Jack Palance. Actually, I think it's Eastwood Punk. Will, go ahead, take my voice. Depends on your definition of good voice. You get Nicholas Cage. You always need to start a sentence down here. Well, yeah, he really got it way up here. Well, he really crazy like Frank coming in with a young man. Danny Carvey doing Regis filming. He's out of control. Not gonna do Danny Carvey doing George Bush, Wendy Bruce, not gonna do Danny Carvey doing Johnny Carson. Of course, if I want to do the real Johnny Carson, I gotta love my voice down and tone right about there. Hi-yo, all right? And then it's not my hair is yours, it's Johnny Depp, Johnny Carson, he's sometimes a pirate, right? Other times, he's a chocolatier. This is making it nicer than the Hatter House.
That's funny, there's a monster in the hat. Oh, funny how, like a clown? Like a near you, huh? Is that not a clown? Oh, that chicken, huh? Like chicken.
No, boy, you gotta fix the towel bowl. So I'm observing what you is to check up on Becca. Because it's an inconvenient truth. It's not like a box up chocolate. I like the ones with the peanut. Yeah, wow, ooh, that's how I started. Sitting there running and screaming, and it's like being in a relationship, you know. Oh yeah, totally. Sweet.
Either way, it's a win situation. I'm Albert Brooks. And I'm Jim Arnold. We basically have the same voice. If we move it sideways, you get Paul G. Where's the polarizer? You know what I'm saying? But the real question is, who are these people? So it's like, hey, Stu, all these crazy voices like pulling together, right?
Yes, near and far. Right, Ricky. Did you say tricky? Because I gotta tell you, I give no respect at all. Oh yeah, but if I did, that'd be right, Kazoo. Yeah, but damn, but do. Let's say this whole thing is making me quite mental. Stop. So, Judy.
I'm getting all this crazy thing.
Having some Trainings and things left England.
That's very, very kind of you all. Thank you so much. Hey, have you had a good time?
Now, little dress. However, I think it wise to wrap it up and end on this high note.
Yes.
You know, spending time with you, James, has made time of that it can seem almost dull. So, if it is my transmission breaking up, enjoy the rest of the small weekend, everyone. I may the all be with you. Always.
Thank you, Master Kenobi. Well, this is my favorite part of the show, where I get to not just do a bunch of voices for you, but just kind of talk to you for a second before we wrap it all up and you get to go see those fireworks and all the fun things here at Star Wars Weekends. But I have such a great time hosting this show. I love doing it. And I've been very blessed to be all these great iconic characters in my career that I never could have imagined. I knew I wanted to do it, but I never could have imagined it when I was a little kid in my room, just talking to myself, coming up with voices. But that's the thing about dreams, right? We hold on to them, and we hope, and we try harder and harder every day. But we also have hard times. And I had what I call a red letter date in my life. It was not the greatest date at the beginning. And that's February 13th, 2005, because on that day I lost something I never thought that I ever could lose. I lost my voice. And it wasn't just wake up and it's not there and come back. It was, I lost it. See, my wife and I bought a house because we were about to adopt our daughter from China. And this house had black toxic mold growing in the walls. And I got very, very sick. And I went from about 135 pounds down to 96 pounds. I got massive laryngitis, chronic throat infections, and the doctors told me that I needed to stop talking for an extended period of time to heal my vocal cords and to get better. And to cleanse my system, they wanted to put me on different medications and things. And I was like, wow, bam, right upside the head. You ever been hit in the head with something like that? You go, why? The initial response is to say, why? But I started thinking, wait a second. Maybe I need to look at this in a different way. Maybe this is a challenge for me that is a good thing. Maybe I can turn this around in some way. So I started looking into different ways to get my voice back. So I changed my diet. I went on a very holistic diet and found that I started getting my voice back. And 8 months later, when we got our daughter from China and held her for the first time, it all started making even more sense for us. And here we are 9 years later, a happy, healthy family, and it makes even more sense. Because see, there were so many things that I needed to learn before I could be a dad. And one of them was how to get myself healthy. And not just to rely on the voice and what I can do, but to rely on doing the right thing always. And taking care of yourself so you can be there for the long term. Because I found out February 13th, 2005 was another special day. Because it was also my daughter's birthday. And we didn't find out until 6 months later. Because when you adopt, that's how it happens. So this red letter date that I thought was the end was really the beginning of a whole new life for me and for my family. And it changed me and it made me see that there's challenges in our lives. Each one of us has a challenge. I guarantee you that every person in this room is going through a challenge right now, has just finished a challenge, or is about to enter a challenge that you don't think you can get through. And I want to tell you, you can get through it. You can get through it with your friends, you can get through it with your families, you can get through it with faith, you can get through it with hope, and you can get through it by believing and knowing that so many people around you and so many people before you, and that guy did a little something, didn't he? Walt Disney. Sometimes these things that are the toughest things are there to build us up. Most of the time, they're there to make us stronger. So I want to encourage you today, whatever you're going through, and whatever dream you put aside, don't put the dream aside anymore. Grab that dream, write it down, look at it every day, embrace it, share it with someone close to you, and be accountable with each other on those dreams, because you can do it, you can accomplish your dreams. Now here's the deal, don't make that dream about being famous, don't make that dream about having lots of money. Have it be something that is good for you and your world, not just this world, your world. Have it benefit you in a way that gives back to everybody else. And you're going to find that it's a good dream. And you're going to find that those challenges are going to make you stronger by doing that. Because I never could have imagined back then when I lost my voice and wasn't able to do anything for months and months, and it took years to get everything back to normal, that I would be here telling my story and doing all these voices for you now. So see, never give up on your dreams. You heard a lot of people today, but it was all one man with one throat, but it was
Many voices. You and the witness of the daredevil, the magician of mimicry,